Welcome to the Entertainment Answer. I am Matt Mungle, taking a look at Wolfman. I was hoping this was going to be a howling good time, but sadly I walked away more disappointed. Wolfman releases in a month where movies go to die. Granted, January and February are not always box office bombs, but Forever Megan, you're going to get a Madam Web, so you have to know what to expect in these early months of the year. Unfortunately, Wolfman is a poster child for everything that can go wrong with early year movies. The character of the Wolfman is a lot like Dracula. We have seen a lot of adaptations of him over the years. Lon Chaney Jr. made the character popular in the 1940s with 5 movies about the Wolfman, and since then we've seen him in all sort of facets, from a teenager playing basketball to an animated, exasperated father with a bunch of young pups. The most current, I think, adaptation is the 2010 movie starring Anthony Hopkins, which wasn't bad. I just wanted this one to be super elevated. It's produced by Blumhouse, which usually tells us it's going to be something special. Even though as of late they've been more quantity over quality, you still expect a lot from this production company. Couple that with the character of the Wolfman, this thing could have been spectacular and a great way to kick off 2025. This version is directed by Leigh Whannell. He is the same guy that brought us 2010's The Invisible Man. I personally really liked The Invisible Man, as I think a lot of people did. It was a really cool, creative look at one of the characters we have known for a long time, and bringing it into a modern setting. I thought he did a great job with it. That also gave me hope for Wolfman, thinking that Leigh would do the same thing and elevate not only the action and the character, but what happens around the character. There's 3 main elements I want to look at with this one, and should be with any movie like this. How does the monster look? How do the victims join together to survive? And 3, and the main element to me, is it fun? The story is about Blake, played by Christopher Abbott. He is a stay-at-home dad in New York. He needs to go back to the rural area of Oregon to revisit where he grew up, the family farm, to take care of some family business. His wife, Charlotte, is played by Julia Garner, and they have a young daughter named Ginger, played by Matilda Firth. Blake is eager for Charlotte and Ginger to go back and see where he grew up in this very rural, dense forest in Oregon. The journey turns into a never-ending nightmare, not only for the characters, but for those having to watch the film. It pretty much takes place over one night as Charlotte and Ginger watch as Blake succumbs to this, what they assume is just some sort of virus, causing horrible transfigurations. With no clue of what it is or how to fight it, they all struggle to find answers and try to escape this wilderness. Okay, how does the monster look? This is the biggest issue with this film. Director Leigh Whannell might have been successful with The Invisible Man, but only because he was invisible. There was nothing to show. You can't mess up what you can't see. Here we needed something terrifying. This is the Wolfman. We have been spoiled to films like The Howling and American Werewolf in London. We wanted skin-crawling transformations, morphing, body horror. We wanted to just see things, have our jaw drop, our eyes pop out of our head. It's 2025. We need to elevate what we're seeing on screen when it comes to characters like this. Or market it as a totally different movie, which this one seems to be. This version of the Wolfman is very subtle. Mainly we see Blake go through this limbo phase between human and wolf as he transfigures. It's not an instant thing that happens. So what we get is a lot of his perspective, how his vision changes, how his hearing changes, trying to speak and not understanding. But it includes all these really weird lighting and visual effects that add nothing to the movie. It's confusing, it's not exciting or scary, and at times, honestly, it's just boring. With the money that they saved on wardrobe changes, they easily could have added it into some special or organic effects. Secondly, how do the victims survive? As alluded to, this family unit coming from New York, the mother seems estranged from the daughter. She's working a lot. The dad is staying at home, so his bond with Ginger is a lot stronger. Charlotte's worried that she is not engaging with her daughter the way that she should. So really, this is the perfect opportunity for them to come together. The movie almost pushes it that direction, like, hey, here's what's going to happen when things go crazy, but it never pans out. You actually see the actors grappling with the script they've been giving, trying to pull anything they can to create some kind of chemistry, some kind of focus, something for us to root for and for them to get behind. This is not an acting issue. This is a script issue and a directing issue. Nothing more, nothing less. Again, if this is the movie they wanted to make, fine, but don't tout it as some horror film. Don't tout it as a survival film. It's just mainly this guy going through a disease. We could have set this movie in a hospital, given him the coronavirus or gangrene, and it would have had the same effect. It's these people trying to struggle watching their father and husband go through this horrible thing. Is there going to be a Wolfman? We don't know. Is he going to show up? Who knows? We get glimpses of it. We get noises behind the door. We get rustlings in the forest, but that's pretty much it. And yes, the metaphors ooze off of the screen. There is a metaphor of parent and child relationships. How to be a good parent, how to protect your child without smothering. There's a great line in this movie that says, how do you protect children from scars when you are the one causing the scars and you're not doing it intentionally? So there is a lot about parenting in this movie. If that's supposed to be what you get from it, okay, but even that is loose. Even that doesn't fit into the narrative of what we want from a Wolfman film. If you're using the Wolfman as just something of an inner beast and trying to come to terms with what's going on the outside and the inside and trying to do what's right, none of that plays out here. There is no context to back up either a scary Wolfman film or some kind of parent-child film. Lastly, is it fun? No, it's not fun. As I've mentioned before, none of this comes together. There's a few jump scares, but that doesn't make for a scary ride. There's no humor in this. Even the most scary films, there are moments and light moments where you start to gravitate to the character. You find out what this character's like. How does it tick? There's none of that here. There's no fun. Even in the jump scares, they're too far and in between. There's just nothing to grasp onto. That's not a good ride. It's almost one note from beginning to end. There's no crescendo. There's no building up. They try to at times, but none of it pans out. And so at the end, after an hour and 40 minutes, you're like, okay. But there's no fun in the ride. There's no looking back going, oh man, remember when this happened? Oh, it was so cool when this happened. None of that took place, and it had every opportunity, every element, every building block to do so. It just failed. If you're going to rush out and see it, you're like, I got to see everything that's a monster film. Let me know what you think. I could be wrong. You could come back and say, Matt, you're an idiot. Wouldn't be the first time, wouldn't be the last time. I'm curious to know what you think after you see it. Be sure and like, follow, come back, hit the comment button. Let me know what you think about Wolfman, hitting theaters this weekend, January the 17th. For more of what we do, reviews, interviews, and everything else, check out theentertainmentanswer.com.